Okay, I know I said my last one would be my last Battle Royale video, but I came up with this idea, and I want to see how it goes. So we have islands versus peninsulas. Yeah, I know it's stupid. So let's just clarify a few things. Non-continents are islands, obviously. A few peninsulas aren't included. While I'm doing this, I'm just going to be changing up a few things that I kind of forgot. I'll count Michigan and that as a, I guess I'll count it as a peninsula. Same with the Upper Peninsula. Both peninsulas of Michigan, the Golden Horseshoe, I guess those are all peninsulas. There's a few peninsulas I obviously won't be including. I don't count Indochina as a peninsula, so that won't be included. And Europe is technically a peninsula, but I don't feel like including that. However, we still have Anatolia, the Balkans, the Italian, Iberian, and Scandinavian peninsula, as well as, like, Finland and I guess that. Plus the Jutland Peninsula. Islands, I don't think there's obviously tiny islands, but they don't matter too much to the point, so, I just did that was, I believe, the last major island I forgot, unless it wasn't. So let's get started. There's no more peninsulas. This isn't a peninsula to me, even though it probably is, but I don't feel like counting it. Long Island. Do I want to count Long Island? Long Island's tough, but yeah, I gotta count Long Island. America's largest island. It's like, yeah, I have to count Long Island. Okay, that's definitely everything. If there's something I missed, oh well. Let's start. So immediately, the Mediterranean is dominated by the blue team. And all of these islands, I'm just going to completely erase those. We don't need them. Immediately, all these islands follow the peninsula team, with the exception of the, With the exception of, no exceptions. All those Mediterranean islands fall to Team Peninsula, and Sri Lanka would fall. However, much of India's population is up here. Much of its wealth is down here, but population is up here, strength up here, so, oh my god. We are not going to count that. What did I just do? Yeah, we're not going to count that, and Sri Lanka is reinforced by Indonesian forces. Okay. Island forces take over Malaysia, and forces from the Falklands take the Antarctic Peninsula, followed by a Michigan Peninsula troops decide to go down to Florida, and Alaskan troops take over Victoria Island. Michigan forces are sent down to Florida, eventually taking Cuba, Jamaica, which eventually leads to the fall of the Caribbean, and Long Island and Newfoundland are conquered by them as well. However, Team Island makes a landing here, and now have many of their forces situated in Japan, eyeing up Korea. They decide to even withdraw from Sri Lanka, which allows India to take it, and eventually a landing is made in Korea. They make a landing in the north, actually, with which causes North Korea to fall eventually. And due to the fact that the islands are pretty connected, but the peninsulas are unable to supply the Koreas, this falls pretty easily. But now the peninsulas have a pretty good connection between each other, and it's going to be very hard. The only thing the islands are able to do now is take over Scandinavia Scandinavia and Jutland Peninsula, which apparently it's not really Scandinavian anymore. But to me, this is all one peninsula. People consider that to be Scandinavian peninsula, but I think it should include those two. Not saying those two are in Scandinavia, but it should. Okay. Now we have, let's see, what do we want to do now? We got Team Island, obviously controls this. The Maldives, which allow for a connection. I'm gonna erase that, just know that it exists. And eventually we have many blue team forces, starting to make an island hopping campaign in the north until they eventually capture all of Canada's islands, plus Greenland. By the way, technically, this is a peninsula, but no. Iceland also falls, however, they're unable to take over the British Isles yet. Many forces have focused on the British and have encircled the island, leading to the eventual fall. I know, very, very amazing. And eventually with that, all of Europe has been wiped out by Team Peninsula, who have now severely began sending troops to the Asian front. These two are retreated, but no one decides to take them back for obvious reasons. An African force lands in Madagascar as many troops have been sent to the Asian front. And now we have a ton of troops amassing on Sri Lanka in hopes of invading, in hopes of punching into this area, and then in hopes of getting this area to then go out into the rest of the island world. So we have that happening. Troops attempt to take Sri Lanka, however it fails. Island troops. And then maybe they could get India, allowing for them to be on the attack, but that does not work. What they do is a surprise invasion of Alaska from Kamchatka, and eventually Victoria and even Baja California fall, either back or just to the island team. So that's not great, but there's not really much they could do, and they don't care. From here we have the Caribbean also falling, and Florida, due to the fact that many troops have left, now gets taken. However, this area is a stronghold. Yeah, and it's more like that. So we finally have it, the day. First of all, Peninsula forces take those islands, I forgot what they're called, and eventually land in the Malay Peninsula until they eventually push them all the way back to Singapore, which is where we see this war's major Battle of Singapore. We have this team just in the city of Singapore. Really just Singapore Island, honestly. Wait. Hold up. Singapore is an island. Probably should have remembered that. Doesn't matter, because it's controlled by the red team either way. Singapore Island, basically, is this, and the blue team is has an under siege. However, yeah, they could just kind of escape. However, they want to hold on to Singapore, so immediately Malay forces attempt to cross one of the bridges, which is like here, I believe. I believe there's 3, I think it's probably why. They attempt to cross it, however, Singaporean troops strategically allow them to cross it, causing a ton of Malay forces to be right here, until eventually blowing the bridge up. And with it, all these forces are now trapped in Singaporean places, and the red team quickly asserts naval dominance, surrounding these troops, and that proved to be a big mistake. And from here we have all these troops surrendering, leaving the rest of the Malay forces to retreat from Singapore Island, causing the Battle of Singapore to be a decisive island victory. This leads to the retreat of all forces from any island, as now they only are able to hold on to their own territory, including Long Island and Newfoundland. They use this to take out Michigan, as it's kind of surrounded, and even push up into these northern lands, which I know a lot in my videos have been very easy to conquer, and that's kind of because they are. The one island that they decide not to give up is the UK and the Mediterranean islands. So now the forces in the islands, after winning, make a landing on India, and many forces realize that if the island team could take over India, they could start invading the core of the peninsula team. So they really send a ton of troops, and they're met at another battle, this one being Battle of Battle of Mumbai, Mumbai is obviously one of the largest cities in India. I don't know why I said that. But now the blue team is the one under siege, not the red team. And the red team is surrounding them. Wait, no, it's the other way around, right? Nope, the red team is definitely the one surrounding them. Mumbai is kind of a bay, and it's at a little peninsula. So I guess we'll have that represent the city of Mumbai, and it's more kind of like that. So it's really just this little peninsula that's still controlled by the blue team. So that's obviously not good if the red team is able to capture that, because many Arabian and Horn of African forces are focused there, and even like Anatolian and European forces. Most European forces are actually up here protecting these areas, but Arabian, Anatolian, and Horn of African troops are focused in India, as well as Indian troops that are still left. And basically, they set up a very narrow front line on the peninsula, which is only about 10 miles, making it very hard to break through. So it's kind of stalemated, and only slow advances are made. The red team pushes a bit. They take the city of Thane. I'm just looking at a map, by the way. I don't actually know what these places are. And they make sure that they have zero connect. Mumbai is actually an island. You know what? Screw you. Mumbai does not count as an island to me. Because no, this is not an island. With that logic, a lot of things are islands. Mumbai is not an island. Hong Kong is an island. There's plenty of islands. I forgot. I don't care though. They're still gonna win. Spoiler alert. I know. If there's any islands, shut up. I don't really need your feedback. They basically trap Mumbai to Mumbai Island. Don't care. That's what's happening. And, they cross the bridge into the island, and with it, India starts retreating, causing the Battle of Mumbai to be another decisive red team victory. And while these forces are retreating, Indian forces go a quicker route and quickly capture Oman and the Horn of Africa, leaving naval dominance in their control, effectively blocking off the retreat. All these troops are forced to surrender, leaving all of the Arabian Peninsula to fall, and troops are now starting to go back up. They sail back up to Iceland, capture Svalbard, land in the Nordic lands. A rebellion pops up in the British Isles, until eventually they land in Spain, liberate these islands. All of the Mediterranean islands are actually liberated. And with it, the team Peninsula realizes they can't win, and they surrender, leaving Team Island. Is this realistic? No. Do I care? No. Okay, bye.